Level 1, the recruit. You're 18. You stand inside a gray barracks room. A plastic chair scrapes the linoleum floor. A man in a gray coat asks 5 quick questions. He writes your answers on thin paper with a cheap pen. You smell cold metal and wet boots. You wake at 5 a.m. Your body aches from running. You run 2 miles. Then you dry fire for an hour. Your hands shake the first week. Then they slow and learn. You count breaths. You learn to breathe like a machine. You feel fear and a dangerous pride. You shoot at a paper target from 200 meters. You learn to adjust for wind and sun angle. You learn to clean the barrel after every session. Your wallet holds $20. You send 10 home. At night, the barracks grows quiet. A fan clicks above your bunk. You stare at the dark ceiling. You wonder if you belong here. Boots line the floor beside each bunk. The room smells like soap and sweat. Someone snores across the room. Morning always comes too fast. One night, the lights snap off at 9 p.m. The room goes silent. You listen to your own breathing in the dark. A train horn echoes far away beyond the base. You pull the blanket tight. Sleep comes slowly that night. Your alarm rings before sunrise again. The same routine waits outside. You stand up and start another day. Level 2. The sniper student. You're 19. You sit in a dusty classroom. A whiteboard lists ranges and spotting priorities for the week. Your instructor is strict. He wears a brown cap. He shows you glass. He calls it a spotting scope. You learn to use it at dawn and at dusk. You walk a hill at 4 a.m. with binoculars and thermos. You learn to whisper with your partner beside you. You map fields with chalk and flags in mud. You write down meter readings and range numbers each session. You feel clumsy. You also feel sharper each day. You practice reading wind by watching grass and leaves. You learn to estimate distance to within 5 meters. You carry 50 rounds in a tin on your belt. 20 hours of spotting before your first live fire. One morning, frost covers the ground. Your fingers go numb. You still hold the rifle steady. The instructor nods once. That nod means everything. You spend nights cleaning mud from boots. Your notebook fills with numbers. Small lessons stack up slowly like bricks. Some students leave after a month. Their bunks sit empty. You stay and keep studying the wind charts. Rain taps softly on the classroom windows one afternoon. The instructor keeps talking about wind drift. You keep writing notes. Later that night, you read those notes again. The numbers start to make sense now. Level 3. The field spotter. You are 21. You sit behind a rock on a ridge. A scope is not your only tool anymore. You write down enemy moves with a stub of pencil. Your voice is quiet. You speak only in short words. You smell pine and smoke from distant fires. You learn to watch feet more than faces in crowds. You guide the shooter through hills and thin light. You call wind changes. You tell the shooter when to breathe. You carry a map, 5 water bottles, and a tiny radio. You feel the pressure. You think about being wrong. You miss once. The target moves faster than expected. You feel guilt press into your chest like a stone. You drink from a metal cup and wait for orders. You mark coordinates with chalk on a notebook page. You earn a stripe on your sleeve after a month. The nights are long on that ridge. Coyotes howl far away. You keep watching through the glass. Sleep can wait until sunrise. Cold wind pushes across the hill. Your jacket flaps against your arms. You stay still and keep watching. A truck moves far below on the road. You track it through the scope. The shooter waits for your quiet signal. Clouds roll across the sky above the ridge. The light changes every few minutes. Your eyes never leave the scope. Hours pass without a word. The silence between you and the shooter feels heavy but calm. Level 4, the junior sniper. You are 23. You take a small hut near a road. A cheap mattress is your bed. The floor is cold. You clear the rifle each morning with slow hands. You place a patch of cloth under the cheek of the stock. You line the scope. You set elevation for the day. You spend hours waiting for a single figure to appear. You taste dust. You hear wheels on gravel in the distance. You feel nervous. You tell yourself to breathe slow. You hit your first known distance shot at 600 meters. Your heart pounds. Your hands do not tremble afterward. You get a medal with a ribbon and a number. You send a photo to your mother. She cries. You lose friends to shrapnel and bad luck on patrols. Sometimes you stare down the empty road for hours. Nothing moves. The silence feels heavy. Waiting becomes the hardest part. A stray dog walks past the road one day. You almost laugh from relief. Even small movement breaks the long, still hours. Dust blows through the doorway in the afternoon. The rifle rests across your knees. You keep your eyes on the road. The sun moves slowly across the sky. Your shadow slides across the wooden floor. Another long hour passes without movement. You stay ready anyway. Level 5, the combat sniper. You're 25. You sit inside a ruined house at dusk. The floorboards creak. The air tastes like wet ash. You place sandbags at the windows for a firing lane. You watch a street lamp flicker and then go out. You count footsteps and the rhythm of a patrol's boots. You hold your breath while a convoy passes a block away. You feel a cold tightness in your chest when you aim. You score hits at 800 meters under heavy wind. You remember the smell of gun smoke from your first kill. You are proud and alarmed by the feeling inside you. You carry a photograph of a child in your jacket. You get paid $200 extra for each risky mission. You lose sleep thinking about the faces you saw. You learn to clean your mind like you clean the rifle. You teach new shooters how to steady their hands. Rain leaks through the broken roof some nights. Your boots stay wet for hours. Still, you stay at the window. The street never truly sleeps. Empty cans roll across the floor in the wind. Somewhere far away, a dog barks. The city feels alive even in silence. A light turns on in a distant building. You adjust the scope slowly. Your finger rests beside the trigger. Your breathing slows as you watch the street. Every small sound reaches your ears. Some nights, nothing happens at all. Those nights feel longer than the others. Level 6. The team leader. You are 28. You stand in a tent with a map table. A lamp hangs above paper with pins and strings. You brief 4 men with names and ages pinned to jackets. You show them where to move at 2 a.m. and why. You taste stale coffee while you point at a river bend. You carry responsibility for 40 missions this year alone. You sign pay slips and pass cash to families. You hear men whisper about their children and phone calls. You feel tired in the bones from too many nights awake. You decide when a pair goes out on a dangerous watch. You learn to hide your fear behind quick jokes. You write short notes to commanders. You keep them clear. You sleep less. You wake to check radio at 3 a.m. You lose one of your men in a roadside blast. After that day, the tent feels colder. You fold his jacket yourself. The others watch in silence. Leadership suddenly feels very heavy. You keep his name written in your notebook. You read it sometimes at night. It reminds you why each order matters. The radio crackles beside your cot. Another mission report arrives. You sit up and reach for the map again. A cold wind pushes against the tent walls. The lamp swings slightly above the table. You rub your tired eyes and study the map lines again. Level 7. The Veteran Hunter. You are 31. You have scars along your forearms. A faded patch shows years of cold and sun exposure. You sleep with an old wool blanket and a thin pillow. You know when a village kitchen will light its fire. You read tracks like other men read books and maps. You move through fog with steps like a cat's paw. You have seen targets vanish like birds at dusk. You smell danger in the metallic taste on your tongue. You keep a tight list of names in a leather book. You remember numbers of missions and price tags. You once tracked a man for 3 nights and 3 days. You felt sore and proud when the trail ended at dawn. You earn a house allowance from command each month. You pay a neighbor to fix your roof's leaking tin. You think about stopping when your knees hurt each morning. Young soldiers ask for your advice now. You show them quiet tricks. Small things. How to move slow. How to listen more than speak. Sometimes you sit outside after sunset. The sky turns dark blue. For a moment, the world feels calm again. A cool breeze moves through the trees. You close your eyes and listen. Old memories rise with the sound of leaves. The stars appear slowly above the hills. The night feels wide and quiet. You breathe in the cool air and let the silence settle. Level 8. The Master Sniper. You are 35. Your hands remember the feel of wind. Your eyes find a hairline change in a tree branch. You live in a small town near a low mountain ridge. Neighbors think you are a farmer or a carpenter. You wake at 3 a.m. and move without waking your wife. You build rests and make tiny marks on scope tubes. You measure ranges with old tools and new patience. You teach a class of 10 with quiet authority and care. You show them a breathing trick that steadies their fire. You get paid for lessons and consulting jobs now. You write short notes about lessons in a faded ledger. You attend reunions where old names make the room sharp. You cry once at a table when a friend dies. You clean a rifle like you clean old memories. You feel tired of being hunted and hunter at once. Some nights you walk the fields alone. The wind moves through tall grass. For the first time in years, the rifle stays at home. The stars above the ridge look bright and endless. You stand there for a long time thinking about old days. A distant owl calls from the woods. The night air feels calm and wide around you. You watch the horizon slowly turn pale before sunrise. Morning birds begin to sing in the trees nearby. Level 9. The Instructor. You are 40. You stand at a firing line with chalk dust. Young faces look up. Their eyes are bright and raw. You show them how to mark a wind change with leaves. You tap a watch and count breaths in quiet voices. You tell them stories with lessons woven inside. You point to a map and show old ambush routes. You explain how to fix a jam with calm hands. You carry class lists and names of families to call. You feel a new kind of pride in teaching others. You get students who come from towns far away. You charge a fee for private lessons. You help their rent. You write a manual of plain rules for the course. You lose patience with arrogance. You reward steady work. You get letters from former students with notes. Sometimes a student thanks you years later. They say your lesson saved them. Those words stay with you longer than medals. You keep a drawer full of those letters. Old paper and ink smell strong. Each one feels like proof the work mattered. One afternoon, you read one again. The paper is worn at the edges. You fold it slowly and place it back. Outside the range, a truck drives past slowly. The dust settles along the road. You turn back to the class and begin another lesson. Level 10. The Legend. You are 45. People speak your name in quiet circles. Old photographs hang in a framed row at home. You smell cedar and old paper in your study room. You get letters from governments and men thanking service. You wear a plain jacket when you attend small events. Children ask for your autograph at a town fair. You give a short smile and press your pen to paper. You remember a list of faces from cold nights and dawns. You feel regret about some choices. You also feel pride. You keep a box with a child's drawing and a medal. You sit with a cup of bad coffee and a blue mug. You count years. You count missions. You count the cost. You donate part of your pay to a small school. Your hands shake a little now. Age does that, but your eyes still scan every hill and road. Sometimes you open the old rifle case again. The metal still shines. The memories return with quiet weight. You close the case slowly and lock it. The room grows quiet again around you. Dust floats through the sunlight near the window. The house feels calm and still. You sit back in the chair and take a slow sip of coffee. Years pass and the cycle keeps moving like tide. New recruits arrive with empty eyes and hungry hands. Old men sit and tell them short stories at dusk. They teach steadiness and the meaning of kindness. The work keeps going even when people try to stop it. Those who leave find other paths and different mornings. Those who stay accept that some nights will not end. Remember the faces. Remember the names. Remember the cost. Share what you learn with care and with mercy. Subscribe to learn more stories like this one today.